We have a problem. Elund Karth refuses to send any troops to assist Melsenshir. The old fool never would listen to reason. I certainly hope so. We're going to need every sword we can muster. You can find him in the upper city, staring over the strait at Melsenshir. The fool might as well be at its funeral. The man is not a warrior by nature. He cannot abide another risk for this city. But he's an idiot if he thinks we will get another opportunity such as this. They're in the city, but they can't join us unless Elund Karth grants his blessing for them to go with us. Agarth has gone to reason with him. He was a fine fighter, as I recall, but I do not know if his diplomacy is as practiced.
The army keeps Lord in the burn. Wouldn't want to be caught cutting.
So? Well, who can I send? I have all these notices and no courier. Fine. You look capable. Stern in the brow, proud of bearing. You are just what we need to deliver these notices. You'll do it, won't you? You've got to do better than the last fellow. There's pay. It's for the war effort. Went and broke his little leg. Oh, Lunala's tears. Hasn't a notion of how important our work is. No sense of the bigger picture. We're in Ratir. This is the war effort. How do you think we get a steady flow of soldiers into Cluracan? You've got to be organized, and everyone's got to pitch in. I'm the chief of recruitment, and don't think I've got time to go around handing out notices. Those notices are only the beginning. Notices of duty to denizens of Ratir selected to serve. The work can be hard, and you've got to, well, look the part. I'll give you a list of names, and you get each of them to accept their card. Easy as that. Well, what do you say? Will you do it? What I need are boots on the ground in Cluracan. I shouldn't say this, but if anyone can't or won't accept the notice, find someone else. Or make them. Whatever you need to do. Take these cards, deliver them to Runir Wesnan, Maywin Wyvern Gif, Aefendel, and Varen Seawine. Almain? Odd. All can be found in Ratir, and I can be found in the officers' hall on the burn when you're finished. You can't fight a war without soldiers. True, we contract the Warsworn and volunteers arrive daily, but it's not always enough. Citizens of Ratir are selected on... Well, the process is secret. Even I don't know how. They're selected, a notice is sent, and they serve. The names are Runir Wesnan, Maywin Wyvern Gif, Aefendel, and Varen Seawine. They're all in Ratir. Now, be on your way.
And I'll be headed back. Move along, citizen.
Please, find Selny. Tell her we betrayed. The lower tunnels. Go. Tell Selny. No one else. Betrayed.
Fresh fish from the morning catch. Spices across the raging seas.
30 then.
Oh my. Are you from here? I mean, you seem well-traveled. I'm not from here. I'm just visiting my brother. He's in the Scholia Arcana. Oh, Varen's a silly old oaf. He's always at the sea foam, and I've never once seen him study since he came here. I've seen one of the waitresses giving him the eye, too, though he pretends he doesn't see when I'm around. The tavern by the quays. You'll find as many Varani sailors there as full Vithiri, and my lazy bones of a brother, too. The northern piers are called the Keys, where merchant ships dock for trade. It's safer there, sheltered by Bracken Bay, and farther from Cluricon. Only warships dock at the Burn, and it's all soldiers there. What with the officers' hall, though the healer's there too. I don't even know where to start. There's so much to tell. The Praderie, of course, where all the shops and stores are. And the Keys and the Burn, and the Upper City, where my brother's school is, and also the temple and those marvelous gardens. That's where the poor in the city live. A bit of it's overground, but the rest's in the lower tunnels. It's true, they live in caves. Oh, if you haven't been, you must go. The Scholia Arcana's there, of course, and the great houses. But the best part's the lunar gardens. It's always nighttime in the gardens, and so peaceful. You pass through there to the temple, which is also enchanting. The priestess is a fate weaver. Some merchants sell pails of fish or bolts of cloth, but Leargriff has all kinds of pretty things, and Gwalchmay has anything and everything. I spent 3 whole days in the bookstore, and then I smelled every herb and powder at Rowani's. Pride of Praderie's got boring old weapons and armor. Surely you've heard of it, full of stuffy old mages and strange books, and the rooms Varen wouldn't let me go in. Just think what might be there. Goodbye then.
Curios, talismans, items of power. Curios, clasps, staves, and robes, all of the highest quality. A pleasure, I assure you. I've been supplying scholars and students alike for many a year. Those rare and potent marvels unavailable within their compound, I am happy to supply. Magic's mistress and goddess of fate, which is not but magic's deepest weave, after all. Lyria's city. Magic runs through its veins, echoes in its courts and byways, and I do my modest part. To be honest, I never actually passed the initiation trials. An oversight, I assure you. Arrogant fools. So long.
It's 5 gold over market.
Students of magic, masters of spells.
Oh, there's no use. I've lost the keys. Now Gwalchmay'll have my head if I can't think up something fast. Say, you're not good with locks, are you? Would you help a poor fellow who's down on his luck? Well, he's a good enough master, all in all. Sees to it I earn every coin of my wages, though. No standing about, not in his shop. With all these people walking around, you'd figure someone would help me after I lost my keys. Gwalchme calls me lad whenever he wants me, and the others call me hardly anything at all. Just fetch this and lift that. Yes, as in, no need for keys. Ace with a lockpick. Gwalchme wants an old red ledger from the storeroom in the customs house. Oh, I'm afraid they're lost for good. Now, I might have dropped them here, or at Kest's table the other night. But it's just as likely I dropped them in Bracken Bay after I'd had an ale or three at the Seafoam. The chest it's in, that is, yes. Although I don't know which one it is. But it's down there, somewhere. Oh, now don't worry, nothing in the storeroom's seen the light of day in years. No one will mind if you pick a few locks before you find it. Gets these ideas into his head. Needs this old thing, needs that new thing. This time it's shard prices by the decade. Something to do with a deal he is or isn't striking with that Karasta trader. Oh, the things they say about that Lanshi. That she talked a Jotun out of his own hammer once. And another time sold some Varani fool his own silk for twice as much, after cutting it to ribbons and winding it on spools. The Chamber of Trade's on the way to the quays, and the storeroom's off one of the wings. Just pick any lock down there till you find the old ledger. Chamber of Trade basement. Just head toward the quays. Oh, and have these. That should help.
Welcome, friend, to the Luminary Leaf, bookseller extraordinaire. Nearly any book you can imagine can be found here, at the Luminary Leaf, be it history, verse, or scholarship. Though, I must confess, we are not as well supplied in gnomish texts as I would like. The ancient steps of our founder and prophet are dear to any Rathiri's heart. But mine shall always stir to the brave tales of the war-sworn of old, pitting steel and valor against chaos itself. Now, while many books can be found only within Scholia Arcana walls, others can only be found without. Gnomish texts, magical controversies. In truth, I once thought I might be a poet, but it seems in the end I am more shepherd than ram to my flock of tomes. Ah, you see? My metaphors always run amok somehow. Pelewin tugs at the heartstrings. Medara's mists at dawn takes my breath away. If you seek something a bit more rough and lively, the Varani Kesaniki or Sea Chance might be worth a read. I cannot ascend the steps of the spire without thinking on the first lines of The Fall of Dwinian, nor espy the Wending and not recall Stone Shadows. Rathir is a city of letters. I dare anyone to say otherwise. Fare thee well.
10 years. This siege has gone on too long.
If you're looking for vintage Alpha spellbooks, or a copy of the original Gnome Census Scrolls, you're in the right place. War is ugly. Perhaps if the generals did more reading, and the scholars did more fighting, then everyone would better understand the pointlessness of violence. It is the only place to be if you wish to study the arcane, to see the lunar gardens, or to gain an audience with the Archsage himself. I'm studying in preparation to join the Scholia Arcana. Is there any other reason to be in Rathir? This is where magic lives.
Ruwani, apothecary, alchemist, importer, and cultivator at your service. If you think yourself a bit of an amateur, you are welcome to the use of my alchemist's bench. I'm happy to sell you anything you require, and forgive any faces I make at your fitful potioneering. Were you aware that 37 varieties of vine, flower, and tree can be found here? Discounting, of course, the lunar gardens. Have you been? The true marvel of our city, if you ask me. Blossoms you will see nowhere else in Amalur. I've always found the mystery of herbs and fungi far more fascinating than anything else. As soon as I was old enough, I was apprenticed to the great Rilf Janik. Oh, you've met them? Well, any friend of theirs is a friend of mine. Although, truth be told, those sisters can be a little strange sometimes. Good day.
Mind your step.
Curios, talismans, items of power.
Greetings. You have come to Gwalchmay's goods, provisioner to all Rathir, to high and low, great house and sparrow alike. The great families of Rathir, of course, as rich in power as in gold. Visit the upper city and see them yourself. Worth the climb, if you ask me. They are the rag pickers and dust grubbers of the city. Mind you, I don't let them in the front door. Appearances, not to mention odors. Humble servant to great house, sparrow, and soldier alike. Women and men in want of things make their way to Gwalchmay's goods. I could tell you a thing or two about this city. Did you know, for instance, that Faldra Nefari ate the 5th memorial stone? Cast a spell and ate it. I could say a thing or two about Wyvern Gif as well, if I didn't fear the consequence. The Wyverns had a claim of their own, mind you, but their marriage to Gif, a scandal. I know the truth of it, but I'm not at liberty to say. The first 4 are easy enough to find about the city, but the 5th, few know the truth of it. Yes, what about him? I sent him on an errand and I'm still waiting. Oh, him? No one knows his real name. Got that name from the way he talks. Some say he was next to the Archsage, once, up Spire Top. Then a spell went wrong, or his lover fell to her death. Whatever it was, broke him, it did.
This is the sage crafting table. I can help you with gems and shards and the like. If you want general goods, you should speak to Master Gwalchmay over there. Oh, he's been very good to me. I knew my gems were good, but they wouldn't seem to sell in a market stall. They do better here. Yes, they're my favorite place. So peaceful. The blooms and stars, like so many glittering gems. It takes great concentration. You can get lost in the work. I like that. Oh, it's so lovely, the lunar gardens. Not that I've seen much else of the world. Have you? Oh, I'd be terrified to go so far. I can't tell if he's lazy or clever, but he gets away with so much for his age. So long. That's my gold ever market. Over common sense.
City watch never rests.
I'll sell you weapons, but if it's armor you need, you'll have to speak to that husband of mine. What a terrible thing. Much as it keeps us in business. Him? If you've any love of life, don't talk to him. Can't abide a joke, can't enjoy a drink. I like to think that every weapon I forge just might kill one of those two, Arthur. That's what helps me sleep at night.
Before the war, the people of Ratir were filled with hope, with joy. Most of them, anyway. Have you met my husband?
Farewell, love.
Good day to you.
Serve you quite well. Sif Sater at your service. Don't mind the racket. Just my wife, that harpy across the way. Proud is right, and why not? Fitted most of the Alfar army. No frills, no finery. Just good hard steel. First and greatest mistake I ever made. Only thing sharper than her wares is the tongue in her mouth. My craft is shields and armor only. The art of it's in the balance. Too heavy and you can't move in it. Too thin and it shatters. Majestic towers, crisp sea air, and I spend my life in here with that milksop Adar and my spiteful hag of a wife. What a mouse! Look at the way he taps at the forge. Scared of his own damn shadow. Good then.
Just listen to the two of them. Husband and wife. Some days I think it's all a jest, and they're like a pair of lovebirds when I'm gone. Others, that there will be bloody murder by noon. Sometimes all I have is a sturdy hammer and an anvil. Never thought I could be unhappy working at a forge until I met those two. Ratir is quite busy now. It wasn't always this way. It was quiet and peaceful once, before the Tuatha. When I was young, the Tuatha stormed Erethel. They broke into Ratир once. I still remember the fires and their ghastly armor. Those fires took the southern docks. It's called the Losgiad now. The Burn. Know what I dream of? A quiet forge. Nothing but the sound of the billow fire and the hammer's ring. No oaths, no bickering. That's the day I'll finally make my own work. Until then, mending helms and sharpening swords. I'll manage.
Good day to you.
10 years.
Stand aside.
30, 33. Are you a trader? A captain? What? Do you have any business at all in the customs house? I am in fact aware that I am a gnome, and that this is Ratир. Don't think every half-drowned sailor who stumbled in here hasn't made that joke. If you must know, Odessa and I do not suit each other, and I'm very good at counting. Counting is the key thing in a customs house. Have you any notion the sum total of crates that enter and exit Rathir's port on a given day? I do. I know the profit and cost to the city, the average writs of trade per season, the escrow on accounts held. This is what I know of Ratir. You're standing in it, or hadn't you noticed? And I can't imagine why you are if you haven't any cargo going in or out of Ratir. I was born and raised there. My father was something of a scandalous wretch. Everything there is extremely large, though we as a people are small. No need to shout. It's not that I didn't hear it, it's that I don't know the name. This Hast isn't a shipper, buyer, chandler, or clerk. Ask Oneth at the desk if you must. He's more familiar with the riffraff than I am. The tally was this figure and this figure.
This is the customs house. All your papers in order, then? Well, you'll need those to move your cargo. Say, you're not a merchant, are you? Or a sailor? Why, the tavern around the corner. Always good cheer there. And never so many papers and crates as in the customs house. Can't miss her. She's the gnome right over there, shouting and making tallies from dawn until dusk. There's a form for port of entry, 3 for the unloading of cargo, and 4 for loading a ship. And then the various writs of trade. Oh, so many forms. They just keep piling up. Then I get them muddled and Augusta scolds me, and I end up at the sea foam. Where they come from, I don't know. But they come on boats, in all seasons, and with goods from all of Amalur. Step outside and turn northwest. Those docks are open to merchants, which means, by and large, Varani. When an island is not an island. More crates of goods, soldiers' feet, and mages' robes cross this jut of rock than any other in the Feylands. All trade in and out of Ratir must pass through customs. And Lyrius tears how much trade there is. We're buried in it. I don't know what you're talking about. And you don't either. Coming in here and saying that out loud in front of everyone? area. Depends on how loud you ask and whether there's gold crossing the counter, now doesn't it? Don't! Please! I've overheard them in the back. I've heard them go back there, to the little grill. They ask, what cost the lot by sea? And the answer is always, 5 and 9 by night. In the back, on my right. Remember, 5 and 9 by night. Now, today's newly docked vessels are...
20.
Trading's done in the Prairie.
Tell me, what cost the lot by sea? Yes, but 33 by day. Go on.
Port today, sea tomorrow.
Very heroic, my fine little war swan. You have tracked and fought your way to my very door, but the vault has been emptied and Lord Beeson has flown to Eamon's Isle. You don't even know, do you? Your own history. Well, let it stay buried. Out of your hands, out of mine, and in Beeson's. Fear not. The Farlangi shall bring a beauty terrible and sublime into the world. Now!
Move along, citizen.
That's so then. Well.
Hello, mates.
Welcome. Relax and rest a while.
You're from the Scholia Arcana, aren't you? Here to embarrass me? Well, I don't care. I'm glad I was dismissed. I'll drink to it, in fact. So you met my sister? She's been in Rathir almost as long as I have, following me around. Don't have the heart to tell her. I'm her hero, and I'm nothing but a drunk. Oh, please don't tell her what happened. One thing I've learned. The ladies here are like the spire. Breathtakingly beautiful and completely unassailable. Especially to a failure like me. Those cowards dismissed me. Afraid of me. Afraid of how difficult it'd be to train me. What is this? Ah, it was only a matter of time before the army found me out. Just my luck. This calls for another drink. I'll have to pack my things. Ah, Alison, how do I tell my sister? Where will she live? How will she live? Let them sleep in their lofty towers. I'm headed for a real life, not sitting in front of books all day and being condescended to. Army wages can pay for Alison now, but I'm leaving her. I'll send money. I hope she doesn't end up in the Wending. Rove, another ale. Make that 2.
So busy these days.
Seafoam Tavern. Food, drink, and beds for all.
Here's how Rathir is. At first glance, you see naught but marvels. Look again, and you'll note the flaws and cracks. Take a third glance, and through those cracks, more marvels. More truth to that than you know. This is the only establishment in all Rathir that's not Alpha run. The last owner passed away 3 years back. They let me have it, seeing as I lived and worked some 20 years upon this rock. Good then.
Busy these days. Try and get fresh now and you'll be shown the door.
Yesterday, I saw the upper city. In the garden before the temple, it's always night. So you met my brother. Was he at the tavern again? Did he mention when I could go see him at the Scholia Arcana chapter house? I'm happy to hear that. I was worried about him spending so much time in the tavern. I guess it's just me. I'm looking forward to seeing more of the Scholia Arcana someday. I'm sure when Veren's a powerful mage, I will. So long.
What's a lad to do? Get this. I wake up yesterday morning with the worst headache, no shirt, and a note that I'm fighting a duel. Me? Fighting a duel? Don't know how I got into it, but it's all rot unless I can find a second. Proud son of forested traders, my name is gold in every watering hole and bawd house in Rathir, and, well, I'm not really allowed out of Rathir. I swear I don't remember a thing. Apparently I challenged Dalton Ames, the war hero, over the honor of my sister. I do seem to remember him and his bulky arm sitting smugly in the sea foam, taunting me. Surely you've heard of him. Back from Cluricon, and everyone's talking about his exploits on the battlefield. They used to talk about my exploits with society daughters, but... You can't fight a duel without one. Now, you might be thinking, a popular fellow like Waylon, what trouble could he have finding a second? Well, turns out my friends are all drunken cowards. Look, you seem tough enough. Be my second, and I'll make it worth your while. Thank Lupoku. There is something else I should mention. There is no way in all Amalur I'll win this fight, so I've devised a plan. Before you go to Dalton, that's my opponent, find Gelfine in the Wending and ask for some rows of shadows. She'll know what you mean. Then go to the officers' hall in the burn and, on the sly, put some on Dalton's sword point when you inspect it. All in good time, my friend. All in good time. The way I see it, I'm doomed to end up in Mel Senshir, and I'd rather cut the nose off my face than live a soldier's life. I want some freedom, and you're going to help me, right? After you've got the rows of shadows from Gelfine and the Wending, you've got to talk to Dalton in the officers' hall. Tell him I'm ready. He'll show you his dueling sword. Dab a bit of the rows of shadows on it, then come back to me. Now, time for my part in this business.
Coming through.
So Raph is dead too, then? Oh, Lunala, will the sparrows be murdered one by one?
It began when Fara went missing. Then we found Syl's corpse in the alley, then Shiren's. Now Raf, we are helpless. We know nothing, can do nothing. Rag pickers, urchins, scamps. Call us what you like. We too have a place, and it is here. Rathir is like a great stone tree, with mages in its boughs, bright ships in its shade. We sparrows nestle in its roots, as loved by Lyria as any other. He was our best climber. Knew the gutters and spire side as well as the gulls, and now he too is gone. I look after my little birds, speak for them, and see to the finding and picking through all of what Rathir discards. All that Rathir does not need or want, the gold chain broken, the tailor's scraps, old ship casks, we sparrows gather up. We bring it here, we sort and mend, and sell it new for meager coins as we can. And that is how we live. Betrayed? We have traded more than rags with some, up above and here below. But who among them would hunt us down and murder us? This is too much for us. I beg you, go to the City Watch. See if there is anything they know, anything they can do to help us. None that would hunt us down and kill us. Not within Rathir. I am sure of that much. If they know nothing and cannot help us, then no one can. And you think even the Watch cannot be trusted? That is nearly unthinkable, yet still. Go there then, and see what you can learn first by looking around. The Watch knows much and records what it knows. But if all else fails, speak to Captain Talabor. Above the tunnels, just beyond the wending, you will see guards flanking the door. If you can't learn anything on your own, speak to Captain Talabor. Join me, sparrows. Let us mourn our brother departed.
Can't go out there. You found the sparrow.
It's been safe down here so far. That doesn't mean it will be tomorrow.
strong, the magic wielder. I speak the truth. You may listen, or go on in ignorance. She's the goddess of the strong, the fortunate, the magic blessed. She's no goddess of ours. This city is not our city. We are the mice beneath its floors.
That man stand orphans and ragpickers. That's what the sparrows are. They bed somewhere deep.
Here in my pockets, a dead mouse, a breadcrumb, a sorrowsome whale, but no magic. No. Spire, fire, higher, tire, crier, dire waters, dead. Get! Out of my sight! Out, 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 out! Creep, crawl, cower, flower, uproots down, and with a bleeding sun stumble to dusk. Dead and married be. You enemy of fate.
I've got things. Things you'll not find uptown. What? Don't look at me like that. I don't like to be looked at. You go and wrinkle your nose at our caves and our tatters. At least I'm Rathiri, and no rotten outsider. I don't mind where you got anything. I don't ask. And don't you go minding where these came from. It's buy, sell, or leave. Lyria, don't say it so loud. Someone could hear. All right, it's yours, if you can pay the price. Remember, I never saw this. Or you. You got what you came for. Now go! Get away from me with that.
topsider?
Fancy a gamble?
Hello, topsider.
Game of hexes? Game of hexes, topsider? What, never played? It's easy enough. Lay down some coin. Give it a try. As fine a game as there is. Needs but 6 cards, see? No better way to win some coin, idle the hours. Cozy enough, isn't it? What with some found candles, a game of cards, and the occasional ranting out loud, we make do. We make do. Done so soon?
Here to gamble. Aaron Kest's right there. He'll deal you a hand. Me? I'm a nobody. Just a man who loves the dark and sleeping in a cave. And cards. Runs a good game of cards. Give it a try. He's a friend. Been a friend to me. Get back! I won't go, not there. I prefer living to dying, thank you all the same. Well, there's that. Hadn't thought of that. Might be nice. Cook's work or quartermaster's. I'm a fine cook, you know. Well, I'll miss the place. But I suppose there's dark and rocks in Cluricon. And soldiers play at cards now, don't they? I feared nothing more than those notices. But fear's worse than the thing itself. Strange, isn't it? That man stands in the tunnel from day and night.
Welcome to the Wending, mate. I'm sorry it's come to that, but here we are, eh? Where you go when you can't find gold for a Praderi garret or a bunk in the Keys, nor get work in a servant's quarters up in some great house. If you're able, you sleep in a ramshackle house. If you can't, you sleep in the tunnels among the mice and candles and rags. Ratир. Some say it runs near as deep as it runs high. What I do know is the spire top's full of light and magic and wealth. Down here, shadows and rags and one daft old mage named Faldron Afari. Make no mistake, for the likes of me, it's warm and welcome. Gelfine buys and sells what you please. Kest deals the cards, sparrows come and go. And the watch come through seldom to never, which is how we like it. Oh, him? No one knows his real name. Got that name from the way he talks. Some say he was next to the Archsage once, up Spire Top, and a spell went wrong, or his lover fell to her death. Whatever it was, broke him it did. What's this, eh? Time to serve? Well, I always knew it might come. Not sure what they want with a poor Runir Western like me, but I'll go. I'll go.
Never rests.
Students of magic, masters of spells.
Any luck down there? The ledger! Oh, Lunala's smile, you've done me a good turn. Master Gwalchmay'll be pleased as a fat Jotun when I bring him this, he will.
Students of magic, master curios, clasps, staves, and robes, all of the highest quality. Lyria's light guide you. Curios, talismans, items of power.
The army keeps Lord in the burn.
This is the City Watch. Captain Talabor? He's been out on his duties. Ah, but there he is, right there. You're in luck. Think of the Watch as the right hand of the Orbicont. We keep the prison, keep the peace amongst the people. The Wending, where the poor live, extends into tunnels carved in the rock. Crimes there are hard to police, and the tunnels run deep. Thieves and the like will vanish there, and re-emerge when we are gone. The council which governs Ratир. No one knows who is on the council, though you may see their palace atop the spire. They are cloaked in robes and shadows, but do not concern yourself with that. To be honest, crimes in Ratир are uncommon, outside the lower tunnels at any rate. An occasional drunken brawl among Varani, disputes between merchants, that is all. My rank is First of the Watch, and I report directly to Captain Talabor. Good then.
A captain of the watch never rests, but you've caught me at a good time. If I can do anything for you, simply ask. Yes, I know of them. Rag pickers, orphans, denizens of the Wending. We see that order is kept and law-breaking does not pass unnoticed. If I may say so, we are very good. You will find no crime on the streets of our city, I assure you. A grand and venerable city, is it not? Like none other. So many marvels, such great citizens. Our prisoners here within the Watch, all but the worst criminals serve their sentence there. Not a pleasant prospect. Sparrows murdered? I see. I'm so glad you've come to me before this went any further. As it happens, an old enemy of theirs has returned to Ratир. Done. Orwin done. Spotted on the quays. I have no guards to spare, but if you went now, found him, brought him in for questioning, Dunn could be found guilty. We have heard that he was spotted on the quays, snuck in aboard a merchant ship, most likely. A patrol of the Watch will be sent after him, but if you were to go before, find him, prevent his escape, that would be well.
Keep the peace.
Well, you're no guard. Here to let me out, is that it? That's a jest, mind you. Even if I could slip out of here, the damn Watch would have me back before you could count 12. I'd swear the stone spy for them. Let's just say if you carried 100 crates from ship to vault, no one's none the wiser if one or two things go missing from every haul. Whenever they do let me loose, I don't fancy I'll stay longer than a whore's wink. Anywhere else in Amalur, that's where I'd rather be. What am I here for, you mean? Would you believe I disgraced the great house's daughter? Didn't think you would. I had a right good swindle going with some wending lads. But are they locked up? No. Bloody Alpha double standard. Fine. Just walk away.
Halt! You're lost. Only the prison lies this way. We are the City Watch, and this is our home. You are a guest. Conduct yourself as one. Do not think us a people given to folly or crime. But in a city so large as this, there must always be exceptions to the rule. You don't want to end up in there, believe me. What's worse, though, is resisting arrest. I don't advise it. The main hall is that way.
You there! Halt! Don't let me catch you making trouble again. Move along, citizen.
You, halt!
City Watch.
The burn's for army use, not for combat.
The liberation of Melsenshire is close. Hurry!
I hope they don't attack with trolls again. The ships are all moored up until Elund Karth says otherwise. We aren't visiting Melsenshire anytime. The ships are all moored up until Elund Karth says otherwise. Another body for the ground. The ships are all the ships are all moored up until Elund Karth.
Tomorrow at dawn. Dawn! You'll see things there.
You're not army. What are you doing here? Of course, most of it's in Cluricon, where the damned war is. We're here on leave. We call it a war, but it's more a dying man's truce. We crouch in Melsenshire, and they lurk in Cursewood, and shoot arrows at each other. Just another soldier on leave, and I don't like questions. Now bugger off. Bloody war hero, haven't you heard? And besides, he's right there. You can speak with him yourself. Now, this is going to be a farce. I've a bet with Dalton whether Wayland soils his pants.
Please, please, I'm only a soldier back from Cluricon. Don't kneel, and I'm afraid I don't do blessings. He's as vile as his sister's delectable. I don't know how word got round to him, though. I thought I was discreet. Me? They call me a war hero. Haven't you heard the songs? It was only 5 Bulgan, and I had a rusty knife. Huh, I don't see what all the fuss is about. As you know, until the siege ends, it's a lot of sitting around and brief skirmishes. Can't wait for a real fight. I tell you, we need a place like this in Cluricon. Sure, there are places to drink and gamble, but nothing with class. Well, here for the formalities, then. My sword is in the back. She's new, the real beauty. Go on and inspect it. I'm sure you'll find it more than suitable. Right in the next room on the wall. Won her off a Varani chap. Mind you, don't grasp the hilt. They say it's bad luck.
You there, my lovely. I like the look of you. I have gold to slip in your purse in return for a small favor. Me? You wish to know about me? I'm flattered, but I prefer to keep my cards close to my chest. The sea wreathes her, old stone lifts her high, gold and magic pulse through her veins. In the city of Ratir, a soft whisper in a dark corner unlocks many doors. Oh, now, don't sound so suspicious. I need some help in a matter of business. Tell me, do you know the merchant Gwalchmay? I am trying to strike a deal with that willful man, and I think I have found just the thing. Only, I cannot be the one to do it. The man who owns the goods store in the Prairie, he's got his thumb on nearly all the trade in this city. I can't sell anything without his good word, it seems. I have already tried to negotiate with him. He proved hard, stubborn, and unpliable. We could not reach a deal. I was hoping a new face and a new approach might cause him to let down his guard, become reasonable. How very astute of you. Now, Gwalchmay, I have learned, has a weakness for rare wines. This right here happens to be a bottle of Maybrin, his favorite. I wish we had more than just the one. Pity. Here's the contract for him to sign. The better a deal you strike, the sweeter I will make your reward. If I were to approach him, he'd dig his heels in. But a fresh face such as yours, bearing a bottle of his favorite wine? It might just work. More than the bottle I gave you? Very good. If you can use that to strike a better deal, I will see you paid more than it's worth. The sea wreathes her, old stone lifts her high, gold and magic pulse through her veins. In the city of Ratir, a soft whisper in a dark corner unlocks many doors. Be good, my lovely, and I'll be good to you.
Have you delivered those notices yet? No?
They didn't amputate, did they?
Believe me, I've seen worse off in Cluricon. There's no disease or curse or superating wound I haven't seen 1,000 times in Cluricon, so don't be shy, and try not to whine. This part of the officers' hall's my domain. I pass fresh recruits before we send them off, and treat them when they return. The ones from Cluricon are the worst. Missing or rotting limbs, the pox, that sort of thing. Have you been? Foul land. Rank as a Cruddock's breath, and bleak as the northern sea. And that's without the damn Tuatha. Goodbye.
Greetings, Forsworn.
Do not miss Leogriff's many...
Hello. All manner of goods can be found at Gwalchmay's goods. A good head on his shoulders, that lad. I asked for a ledger I thought was long lost. He found it and brought it back. I might give him a raise, in fact. A resourceful employee should always be recognized. Mabrin wine? Wherever did you find it? Forgive me, it's just they're devilish hard to find. You likely had no idea, but there's not a wine in the world I love more. In fact, I think I'll uncork this now and have a sip. Or two. Another? I could cry just to look at it. Best to drink it now. Yes, best thing for it. The more you drink, the better it goes down. Now there's Anwan and Wyvern Gif. The old oak and the greenweed, some say. Not I. The kind of one's as good as the other. Rotten-smelling stinkers, they are. But how they love the scraps and tossings no one else would pay a coin for. Friend to any soul with such distinguished taste in wine. To you, friend. A remarkable woman, there's no denying. But you be wary. Those eyes of hers make promises. Promise things she'll never give. A Mabrin? Oh, yes. Very much. Excellent vintage. My warmest thanks. Very thoughtful of you. Very kind indeed. A third? Ought to save it. But I've had to. Why stop now? So good. Nothing like it. Just lie down for a moment. Easy does it.
Well.
Yes. What is it? If you're looking for an introduction, you can bloody well look elsewhere. One at the door. Area. Don't let them in. The reek. A powerful merchant with a thunderous headache. Leave me be. Ha! A Lancian Alpha dress. Hawks on her name. The what? The wine? I'm afraid I've had too much. Or not enough. Come again when I've slept a little. Bring more Mayburn if you've got any. That thing? Take it away. Oh, my poor aching head. I'll look at it later. Yes, later. The what? The wine? Come again when I've slept a little. What's that? More Mayburn? Give it to me. It's the only thing for this aching head. Oh, better. A little better. Yes. A Mayburn? Oh, yes. Very much. Excellent vintage. My warmest thanks. Very thoughtful of you. Very kind indeed. Carasta's contract? Ha! I made my stand known to her. Don't think I'll change it now on account of some wine already drunk and forgotten. A Mayburn? Oh, yes. You, my friend. You know just the thing to make an old man happy. Ah, Mayburn wine. Queen of all wines. A Mayburn? Oh, yes. What's this now? Carasta's contract? Ought to have known she was behind this. Still, I suppose I was a bit hard on her. Here's a reasonable figure. She shouldn't turn her nose up at this. What do you say? No, don't take it like that. Oh, well, it won't ruin me. Here's the deal. She's got it for a song. How's that?
The contract. You have it. Let me see. This is... I don't believe my eyes. Did he agree to this? Oh, my lovely. You have done well. This will be very profitable for me. And so it should be for you. Don't let the old dog fool you. He is as shrewd and stubborn as they come. But like any old dog, his tail will wag for just the right treat. For now, then.
Greetings, Forsworn.
Mind your step.
Beeson. The Beeson. If it's true he's gone to Eamon's Isle, we must follow immediately. I know a ship's captain here in the city. Hopefully Captain Gonthorm isn't already hired. Take this, a token from Delfric himself. We should send word of our discoveries to him immediately. Some say he is a match for Calidus and that he sits on the Orbicant. Either way, he's a mage of considerable power. If he's behind all of this, then I fear this is only the beginning. I wish my searchers turned up half as much as yours. These mages call themselves Farlongi, but no one has ever heard of them. Half of those I spoke to hadn't heard of what happened at Brigand Hall, and they, if anyone, should have. They're supposed to watch for such things. Beeson has cloaked his actions well. Anytime she was not on duty, she spent among our histories and our ancient sites. I learned from her what the Warsworn were, and the things we lost. But she never found the secret she was looking for. It was built in the time of the First Sworn. No Niskaric artifacts are stored there, but if the accounts are true, much of our early wisdom was kept in the Stronghold's chapel. The founders of our order long ago, they amassed great knowledge about fighting Niskaru, nearly all lost and forgotten. I have wondered about them since we last spoke. They take the name from the legendary mage Farlong, but I do not know why. As soon as a ship can be chartered, yes. Search for Captain Gonthorm on the docks. If he has a ship free, I believe he will take us. I know only his name as a foe of Aegon, son of Aemon. And I know the histories well. You, bring word to ancient Delfric. Now. Let's get to the keys.
That's so then. Well.
Sparrow send a hound out to the piers, and of course, now we're right where he wants the both of us, you and I. You think I'd just waltz back into Ratир like that? No, he lured me here to take the blame for the murders. That's what he did. Why the captain of the watch? The one that's been snuffing out those sparrows. He likely sent you here himself. Got you out of the way so he could go and slaughter the last of them, leisure-like. Clever bastard he is. Read the writing on the wall, mate. And if you weren't such a fool, you'd have left those sorry rag pickers to die in peace. Oh, I'd spit on their sorry graves for what they've done to me. But not enough to show our faces in Ratир. We're not that mad. Oh, ho, ho. Now you see, that I cannot allow. Talibor is going to pin the murders on one of us, and it'll be the one who's dead. And that would be you. You're not going anywhere.
No, I don't believe.
What today, see tomorrow.
You? How in the... Erlich, that turncoat. I never should have trusted a liar to commit murder. That's what murderers are for. What do you want? Of course I did. I'm not the Lord of Dolve-Arn. I'm not even from the Tawili coast. But what does it matter? I only did what I had to do. Don't we all? The Ratир authorities don't have to know. Keep this quiet and let me sail with this galley, and you can have the gold I received for the treasures of Kuln. I am a man of my word. Most of the time. No, you wretch! You will rue the day you betrayed Kras. Do you hear me? Come back.
Step up. See what I have to sell. It's my brothers that ply the seas and bring me goods to trade. When I tire of Ratир, I'll wait till they return and back upon the foam. Not a bad sight from the bow of your ship, although I've never become accustomed to the strange ways of these southern Alfar. The goods here you'll not find the likes of anywhere else, not without braving the raging seas, at least. Darkelfar, whatever you like to call them, like and unlike to their sisters in the north. Loselfar, that is. Safe travels.
can't talk. Got pirates to hunt. I captained my first ship when I was no bigger than my papa's knee, and promptly crashed it into the dock, sinking 3 vessels with 1 wreck. It was then that I knew my destiny was to be a sailor. From that day forward, I spent my life on the water. 20 ships in 20 years. It must be some kind of record. In my experience, islands are places you visit in order to escape torment and certain death. The Gallows End is one destination I will avoid on future voyages. Unless I crash there, of course. He's as elusive as a north wind, a phantom with a skull for a face and fins for feet. Every sailor yearns for the chance to face dead Kel. He and his hangmen go where they please, masters of the frostbreak.
Well, I grew up listening to the first Scion's tales of Akara's love for us, of his promise to keep us safe and provide for us. Nothing but stories. Akara cares nothing for the people on this island. If he did, why didn't he save my mother? He has lorded over this island for as long as I can remember. Luckily, he left us alone most of the time. I'll never be sure why. I was born on this island, raised to believe that the outside world held nothing for me. It was all lies. Goodbye.
Watch maze is just too expensive.
Students of magic, masters of spells.
Stand aside.
Well, well. I found this.
Lot of miserable rag pickers, lot of miserable You're the one. Do you know what you've done? A decoy, really. Arranged long before you got into this. I needed someone to blame. What? And you didn't murder Dunn? We've all got blood on our hands. We all protect our hides when we must. I couldn't have this waif and her lot telling what they'd found. Which is why it's so good that you came. I'll blame their murder on you. Say you died in the struggle.
He is dead. It is over now, thanks to you. And to think I only learned the cause of all this nightmare moments before he arrived. I was done with waiting. I had to do something, so I did what I know. I began sorting the piles of salvage, and that's when I found the cause. To hide his crimes, he was selling prisoners as slaves, smuggling them out to merchant ships in the dark of night. One of the boats wrecked and sank beneath the quays. That boat held slaves and gold, and had Talibor's name all over it. Before he could clear the wreckage, we took our pickings. We had his secret. He was willing to kill to save his name. In past times, we shared freely with the Watch, as we once did with the Dunman, but no longer. We will look after ourselves now. Defend ourselves now. Yes, I think that's best. As long as one other sparrow survives, I will be there to help keep this nest and shelter.
Well, you're not the only one who's been busy. I've called in every last favor in my book. Now there's only one last thing for after the duel. I have it all worked out. With your help, I'll be free of Ratир, free of the war, free as a lark. I need to prepare for the duel, and I can't be seen near the docks. I need you to find Jaber there and give him the name of the ship I chartered, the Maid of Fortune. That's where I escape once everyone thinks I'm dead. The Rose of Shadows will very quickly make me seem dead to that warrior oaf. I'll be moved from a coffin to a shipping crate. From shipping crate to Maid of Fortune's hold. From there, the high seas and beyond. No Ratир, no war, not a care. A very mild poison. Don't ask how I know, or why Gelfine sells it. You appear dead for the length of a day, then you wake with a terrible headache. A simple thing, really. Find Jaber on the docks. Tell him the chartered ship is the Maid of Fortune. Fitting name, don't you think? When you're done, meet me at the dueling ground.
You must be here about the notice. How do I know? Simple. No one but potential applicants will even speak to me. Must be because I reek of desperation, of one sending young souls off to certain doom. I have served the Alfar Merchant Navy since my youth, when I began my career as a deckhand on the good ship Steadfast. It is the hideaway of Dead Kel and his crew. The legends speak of it as a damned isle, a horrible scar on the face of the world. To be quite honest, no one is sure of its true location. For the best, I say. He is the scourge of the Frostbreak Sea, a terror who seems intent on sinking every ship we sail from Ratир or elsewhere. If only he'd stayed dead. It's the fierce, icy ocean north of the plains of Erethel, a busy place of trade and transport, and the occasional treachery. Well, once you hear the details, I'm sure you will lose interest. Everyone else does. We of the Alfar Merchant Navy wish to hire representative to track and kill the notorious pirate Dead Kel and his crew of murderous hanged men. They had many names for him during the Middle Kingdoms era. Ghost of the Frostbreak, the Blood-Red Sail. Every captain and swab on the Frostbreak Sea feared for their lives when Kel raised his flag. Many widows were made in those days, my friend. Of course, that was centuries ago, before he was killed. Oh yes, the Alpha Navy put an end to Dead Kel generations ago. They tracked him to his island hideaway and turned his ship to tinder. There were no survivors. Now you understand our predicament. Our shipping and transport lanes are a gauntlet. Dead Kel preys on our ships like scabs feast on the dying. We are helpless against him. We're losing 1 in 5 vessels departing from Ratир. Good sailors gone, vital supplies sent to the depths. This must end now. You will? Truly? I must admit I did not anticipate this development. Here is your payment. It is made in good faith. Once you've made your preparations, report to Captain Rast Bratigan in the Keys. She will be your escort. Rast is a good and loyal companion and a competent sailor, despite what they say. May Lyria protect you, and may her breath ever be at your back. Good luck. She is the only captain willing to pursue Dead Kel into the mists of the Frostbreak Sea. Perhaps it is her courage, her skill, her determination. No, that's not it. Rast is a good woman, but unaware of her own faults, of which there are many. They don't call her the worst sailor alive for nothing. They are Dead Kel's legendary crew, a trio of villains so sinister that their names sink the heart of every sailor. But I won't tell you any more. No, you don't need anything else to stoke your worry. Nothing causes a captain and crew more grief than those little blue beasts. Their poisonous secretions can eat through a new hull in a matter of days. They're not native to this region, but they stow away in the shadowy holes of ships sailing up from the north.
Trust the innkeep can help you with a room.
So many new faces in the market these days. Wait, you there! You've been talking to my son. What is he up to? I already know about this foolish duel. There's something else, isn't there? Wayland's mother, mistress of forested traders. Not a woman to stand by and watch her son stumble out of the frying pan and into the fire. With a son like Wayland, you learn quickly. And in the end, this is all my fault. I should never have breathed a word to him about military service. So that's it. I should have known. Disgrace a war hero and slip out of Ratир. Well, I tell you what. Go on as you were, but give him the name of Ravenswing instead. I'll ship him right to Chloricon. A good shaking up, that's what he needs. When it's done, find me here. You'll be handsomely paid, I promise.
Hello, mate.
Good day, friend.
Wayland sent you? What's the word? This is a devilish curious business, and I don't mind saying so. A friend, you might say. I've been called other words, but don't you mind that. Ravenswing? You're certain he named that ship? Well, and who am I to say otherwise? Now, isn't that one of Forsted's own? I wouldn't have thought... But then you'd know best. You wish him luck for me. Make sure he's got the handle towards him and the point out the other way. A friend of our friend, you might say. I've raised a glass or three with the lad now and then. Owe him a bit of a favor, too. Aye, if you'll go and second his duel. That's the bargain, ain't it? Let's do our parts. Good day then, Dove, and good luck with it.
No, I not believe it.
Good, you're here. Wish me luck.
What have I done? Lyria, this is awful. How the blazes did I kill him? This was a duel to first blood. I can't stay in Ratир. This will get out. Dead? How is he dead? I hit him once. I was a hero here. All those fine dinners, the adoring girls. They'll hear of this. I'll be a monster to them now. That's where I'm headed after this mess.
He's got to go back to Mel Sen Shir now. This is a scandal. That's where we're bound now. Can't linger here in Ratир. Reckon I'll go with Dalton. I was his second, after all. Don't matter what he did in the war. Now he's killed a man inside Rathir's walls. He'll have to leave.
Keep the peace.
What today, see tomorrow.
You did the right thing. I know Chloricon is good for the boy. Now, here is your reward, as promised. I think he'll learn the error of his ways this time. I'm sure he thought himself clever, as if I wouldn't find out. Don't you know, the Anwans are an ancient line, though if what I have heard is true, it may be near its end. The Wyvern gifts, on the other hand, no one has anything to say against the Wyverns, but then no one has anything to say to the gifts. When you look about, you see a city of grace and magic. What I see is this bought dear, that sold cheap, cornered markets, doors to profit. You wish for a gnomish-spun suite, or a rare fey blade hilt. All these things must come to Ratир before they can be sold. I see to that. We don't pretend to the great houses, unlike certain families I might mention, but many luminaries have dined with us all the same. Very well.